What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you, another one, and this one is Dexter Resurrection, Season 1, Episode 1 breakdown. Dexter is finally back, and now we have the episodes, and it feels just like Dexter of old. Let's get right into it, and if you're into videos like this, please do me a favor, subscribe, click that bell, and share this throughout the realm so other people can find this, because I'll have more videos, theories, and live streams for you. Let's do it. The episode starts off with Dexter getting worked on, having surgery from the gunshot that Harrison put on him. And while he's in this coma, we see the Trinity killer is the first person who visits him. We know he gets visited by a lot of people, but this is the way they're doing it. Right off the bat, it's the Trinity killer. And the Trinity killer tries to explain to him that Dexter was on the right path, but the fact that he tried to have it all. He tried to have a family. He tried to keep doing what he was doing. And this is what led to his own demise. And if he didn't do that, he would have been okay. Next, he gets the flashback of Miguel Prada. And Miguel Prada tells him that it was great because at one point they were friends and it was good to have somebody to open up to. But instead, we see them tell him that all people, when he tried to do something different, good people passed away. And that's when he sees the tombstones with everybody else. After that, we switch to Harrison, and Harrison, like father, like son, they show him doing his morning routine for the hotel that he works in, and it reminds you a lot of what Dexter did and what Dexter had to do in his opening scene that they show throughout all of the shows. We then see that Harrison works at the Empire Hotel and that he's been staying in suites here and there. His girlfriend hooks him up when no one's around, gives him an empty suite so he can stay in, and he has to sneak out. He also has 2 vape pens full of marijuana, and Harrison, since he's been there a little while, we could tell because he has passed his GED, so he's no longer a high school dropout. We also see him go into the kitchen, and he has a special way to tie the garbage bags, which comes up later as he throws out the garbage. We will get back to that in a little bit of exactly why that's important. We see his boy is the valet there, and he's parking all expensive cars for him, and that's who he hangs out with. Harrison seems to be a respected person of the hotel, but the hotel manager does get on him a little bit. He says that he's late even though he truly isn't, but we get introduced to Brian, and seems that Harrison is the go-to guy in this hotel if you need something, because he hands him over the 2 weed vape pens, and we're going to see Brian a little bit later. But what they're trying to establish here with Harrison is that he has been here for a little bit of time, and while he has been here, he has been able to make enough contacts out here to help people. While he's going up into the elevator, he gets a flashback scene of him being outside, a trail of blood out there, most likely where he shot his father, going back to that whole thing. And he's also haunted by images, just like Dexter was haunted, but Harrison seemed to be a little bit more visual when it all comes down to his haunting of his images. After that, we get introduced to Shauna, and Shauna is here on a conference for a whole business meeting. Harrison shows her around because she's lost. She doesn't know exactly how to get around the hotel, and Harrison also offers to help her find some better eateries, some that true New Yorkers actually go to. But after this, we get flashed right back to Dexter, still inside of the hospital, still in his coma state, and while he's in his coma state, he gets another visitor out there. And this time when he gets the visitor, it's his father talking to him, telling him he doesn't have to die alone. And he tries to blame his father, saying that his brother didn't have a father. And then Harry shoots back at him and says, well, your son doesn't have a mother because of you. Dexter also talks about how it was a mistake for Harry to find him and save him in the first place, and he would have been better off dead. But he tells him straight up that he has made many mistakes in the past, but saving him was not a mistake at all. So in this coma state, we then see Dokes pop up. And when I seen Dokes, I thought Dokes would just, get right on him. But in the end, for this some reason, he tells him that there is some good in you and you need to use that good to help your son. So all of these people are telling him that he needs to go back and at some point help Harrison. He needs to be a part of Harrison's life, that Harrison needs him. Now we flash forward right into the hotel, and while we're back at the hotel, we see Brian once again, but this time he's with Shannon and he drugs her and can't carry her because she's too heavy. So he asks Harrison for help to get her back to his bedroom, and Harrison agrees. He also lies to Harrison and says that this is his wife, but Harrison knows it's not his wife because Harrison had just met her already, and he confronts him and says, I know that this isn't your wife. I've already met this girl. I know she's here for a conference. And he's like, listen, just do what I'm telling you to do. Don't worry about it. We all have things worked out. It's going to be a good time. She's not going to remember anything in the morning, which triggers Harrison, and he can't get past all the girls that Kurt murdered, and he doesn't want to be a part of it. He doesn't want to have that on his conscience, so he goes back in there and he gets into a brawl with this guy in the room. Now during this brawl, Harrison gets the better of him and he basically beats this guy to death. Not only does he beat him to death, he takes the lid from the toilet bowl and smashes him over the head with the lid from the toilet bowl. Now Harrison is in a situation where he has just committed a crime, and he's going to have to at some point figure out how he has to dispose of this body. But while he's thinking about disposing of the body and how he has to get out of this situation is when he starts to think of his father and all the things that his father used to do and the things that Dexter actually taught him in order to get out of this situation. So it's not that he's over here and he's some type of serial killer like his father, but he's using these tactics to make sure that he gets away with what he just did. So after he gets Shannon back into the room, we see Harrison go back into the murder scene and do everything that Dexter told him back. In fact, he gets flashbacks about it. He goes into the salon so that he can mix the chemicals, so that way when the police come and try to scrub it, there will be no traces of blood there. He puts on his headphones and he starts to go to work. He wraps the body up inside of the shower curtain, and after he wraps the body in the shower curtain, he uses the cart that he has in there to get him into the kitchen. And then that is when he gets a flashback of his father telling him that he used to cut bodies up into 9 pieces, and cutting these bodies into 9 pieces allows him to make these bodies more carryable and makes him able to get it. And that's exactly what Harrison does. He chops this man's body up into 9 pieces. He puts him in garbage bags, and we see that Harrison has a special knot that he ties when he puts him in. He almost misses the garbage truck, but he gets him out there on time, and the garbage people come and they haul away all of this guy's body parts. And right now it's looking good that Harrison has got away with it. But back to Dexter in the hospital, we see he's going through his physical therapy, and no one at this particular time blames him for anything. He has gotten away with all of the things he does. When the cop comes there, she actually asks Dexter if he wants to make charges against Police Bishop because she shot him. That is what everyone is saying. But she sends him a letter saying that she went away with her daughter and she's happy. Dexter does not want to press charges against her. So when we figured out how this whole thing was going to work out, or how he was going to get away with it, that is. But when the people start to unload the body, that the knot doesn't hold, and the foot and another piece falls out of the bag, and that is when the cops have to get called in. When the cops come in here, we are introduced to our female cop, who seems to be a very perceptive, and she's able to pick up on little things more than these other cops are able to pick up. But you know, you always got to have somebody in there who is a great detective, and that's what they're using her character for. But when she goes to work and she puts her headphones on, what she notices is the knots, and the way that these knots are tied differently than the other bags, and that is when they're able to find all of the body parts of this person that Harrison murdered. And they also find the ring on his finger, knowing that he wasn't killed for money. If that was the case, or the ring would not be there. Back to Dexter going through his rehabilitation, and while he's doing that, we finally get the confrontation between Dexter and our boy Batista. Now Batista seems to be like he's cool with Dexter. They go through everything. They go through Deb and him seeing video footage of Dexter carrying Deb's body out, and how and Dexter explains how he took her in the river in the boat, and the boat capsized and he lost the body. But he also talks about LaGuerta, and he talks about Dokes, and he talks about how Bishop called him and said that he thought he was the Bay Harbor Butcher. But the thing that makes Batista worried and you know, suspicious of Dexter is that LaGuerta said the same thing to him, that she thought that Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher also. But after they have this conversation, he leaves and he says he'll come back the next day to see him after his visiting hours are at 11. So after this, we get another shot back to Harrison inside of the hotel. And while Harrison is out here doing his normal rounds inside of the hotel, we see him get a flashback of the person that he just killed, and it's haunting him in his head. We then go all the way back upstate New York to Dexter, who is inside of the hospital bed, and the nurse starts telling him about the tragic things that happened and about the person who was killed in New York City. And Dexter believes that Harrison did it, but he thinks that Harrison did it because Harrison is following in his footsteps, because he looks and he sees the guy was accused of sexual assault but got away with it 2 times. So he's saying Harrison is following his code, but in reality Harrison just used what he learned from Dexter just to get away with killing him, but he's not following his footsteps. This makes Dexter leave the hospital and break out of there while Batista is in there waiting to talk to him again, and go out, rob somebody's car, and take off. Batista then searches the bedroom and realizes that Dexter is on the land. Now Dexter is a free man, as he told him before. He got him taken off of the death certificate situation so he can go out there and get his own ID and anything else. We then get our first introduction to Charlie, who is the personal security person of Peter Dinklage's character Leon Prey, and she is going inside this person's apartment, which we later find out is the Dark Passenger. She goes inside of his apartment, and she has sophisticated equipment to get inside of these apartments. I mean, she is fully stocked. She has a reader that breaks inside the dude's apartment. She has a head scanner that she puts on, and on her phone she is able to detect if there are any cameras out there and recording devices out there while she is in there. So we know that Leon is giving her all of the best equipment. So while she is inside of this place, we see that she is searching around for stuff. She's looking everywhere. She actually goes inside of air conditioner looking for trophies. That's where Dexter would have stashed his, so I think that's why they did that. And she, you know, she would have caught Dexter if it was Dexter's place. But as she is going around and looking for stuff and taking things off the wall, she notices that there are dents inside of the carpet, and she also notices that there are crates right to the side of that, and then she stacks the crates up. She looks up inside, and that is where she finds inside the tile this person's trophy case. And when she looks at the trophy case, this man's trophies are driver's license of the Uber drivers that he's killing, and he puts an X, most likely in their blood, over their pictures, and she says disgusting. So we could see, even though she does work for Prada, she does not like or appreciate any of these serial killers. It's just a job to her. She has no respect for them. But what she does is she takes the money, which is going to be $100,000, she puts it back up there, and she puts his stuff back up there. She comes out and she says the drop is complete, the invitation is set. And at the end of this is when we see Dexter makes his way to New York, and he sees Harrison working at the hotel, and that is where we end episode 1. Now, I know exactly what's gonna happen. I can promise you, I know exactly how Prada is going to meet Dexter. I know all that. I figured that out, and I'm gonna put that in the theory video, but I will drop that later today. I will drop episode 2 in a couple of minutes, so make sure that you watch episode 2 breakdown and then watch my theory video, because I figured out a whole bunch of stuff. But let me know what you think about this, and if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.